Do you feel like life's passing you by because you're just staring at these screens all day? It happens, and it might actually happen a lot more than you think, because more than half of all Facebook users stare or look at their profiles more than once a day, while 2 out of 5 Instagram users do exactly the same thing. And it's because of this, the majority of us are broke. So it's time for guys like me to tell you straight, to tell you what you need to do to not be so damn broke. Hello, I'm Armando. I'm your friendly neighborhood video gamer, and I welcome you to Gentlemen of Action, the channel that covers finance, business, self-improvement, and other topics on how to be a man that gets stuff done. And this is video number 2 of my Why We Are Broke series, where I cover the many reasons why we are failing at this financial game of life. And today I want to talk about that little mega computer that you are probably holding in your hands right now, which is quite easily the most addictive device known to man. This is, of course, your smartphone. Trust me when I say that a smartphone is probably the single greatest device you will ever own, outside of a Nintendo Switch. And that's because these little devices can do everything. They can help you take selfies for your social media. They could help you buy cat food on Amazon. They could help you participate in the stock market by buying stocks on apps like WeBull. I mean, literally, this little device can open the world up to you. And it's literally a little miniature world inside the palm of your hands, which is an amazing thing. But, and there's always a big but when it comes to any amazing thing that you have in your life, this little device could quite possibly be the single biggest distraction you will ever have, which unfortunately could keep you broke. Now, I know it may sound like a bit of a stretch to say that us looking at memes on Twitter or Facebook are somehow keeping us broke, but I would like you to take this under consideration. The average American spends about 3 hours a day on their phones. Now, during these 3 hours, they may listen to podcasts, play mobile games, surf the internet, watch YouTube videos, or they may engage themselves on social media. And speaking of social media apps in particular, the majority of users of each respective app tend to use it at least daily. For example, 74% of all Facebook users are on Facebook at least once per day, while 63% of Instagram users use Instagram daily, and 51% of YouTube users are typically on YouTube at least once a day. Which, as a personal side note, we really need to get those percentages up because I refuse to let the gram beat us in terms of usership on a daily basis. So make sure you like this video in order to kick that algorithm up so I can be in more people's faces. And while you're at it, make sure to subscribe in order to get your money right. Shameless self-promotions aside, let me get to the point. The 3 hours that you're spending on your smartphone and social media, you can be doing a lot more productive things. You could be reading a book, like this one, where it requires actual physical pages to be turned to help you expand your mind. If you want to do physical pages, you can always do ebooks and audiobooks. You could be working on a side gig in order to make some extra money. You could be taking an online course on how to work Photoshop. Or you could be, instead of on social media, you can actually be social. Because back in the old days, we used to go over to Steve's house in order to play Mario Party on the Nintendo 64, play Dungeons and Dragons, and eat pizza. Now, instead of actually going over to Steve's house, what we do is eat pizza at home, might be DiGiorno, and we watch other people play D&D for us, which that's kind of the craziest thing. If you were to tell me that in 2021, back when I was in high school in about 2000, I'm aging myself here, but go along with this. If you were to tell me back in the 2000s when I was in high school that there would be people who would be playing Dungeons and Dragons and I would be watching them, I would have thought you were crazy. And lo and behold, it actually happens. So I'm starting to think that this whole social media thing has made us less social and just a lot more media. So with these 3 hours, either do something to improve yourself or use it to be more social. And don't feel too bad, guys, because I myself have made a lot of mistakes when it comes to social media. There's been many times when I would go on Facebook in the afternoon, and before I knew it, it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and I've gotten absolutely nothing done for the day. And it's not by accident that I get lost in the digital wasteland that's known as the internet and social media. It's because social media companies have the intention of keeping you on their apps and making these applications addictive. And it's because they make a lot of revenue through digital ad buys. In 2019 alone, at least per eMarketer, companies have paid over $87 billion in digital ads for mobile devices, which means that your eyeballs on these apps equals more money for the social media companies. Wait, hold up, guys. Did I just uncover a conspiracy that's being used by the evil social media companies to both take over the world and inadvertently ruin your life by making you a mind-numb robot who's addicted to dopey machines? Well, no, not quite. I don't think it's actually that cool or that evil. It's actually something called marketing, and it's the study of behavior patterns. And yes, maybe Pinky and the Brain might have been involved in this, but let's just forget about that. Because regardless of whether it's evil or a conspiracy or it's just, stupid fun on a phone, let's talk about how we can make this little device work for you instead of against you. First off, you should uninstall all your social media apps from your phone. And this is very tough to do because many of us stay connected and get our news from our social media apps. Though, let me clue you in on a little secret. After you send a couple of messages and you see a couple of photos, you're kind of done. I mean, half of it's a bunch of crap anyway. I mean, do you really care about seeing that extra picture of Tim's T-bone steak from last Friday? Do you really care to see the 4th photo album of Pascal's trip to Ireland? I mean, even though I love them both, I need to let you guys know that you're distracting me, so you need to get off my damn phone. By the way, I have personally removed both Facebook and Twitter from my phone because I would, by pure compulsion, pick up my phone to look at my feeds and see what was going on almost every hour. And honestly, I'm very bad with social media, so I have taken the appropriate actions to remove all these things from my phone because I needed to be responsible for myself. And yes, I have a very bad habit of looking at my phone all the time. So currently the only social media app that I have on my phone is YouTube because of the obvious reasons that I'm on YouTube. The second thing you should do is to use your phone for money. And this is what I mean. Basically, I keep a lot of money related apps on my phone. I use WeBull, Voyager, M1 Finance, and Coinbase to conduct all my investments. I use my bank's apps in order to keep track of my day-to-day expenses. I think at this stage of my life, I'm very focused on my finances. So anything that deals with the movement and the investment of money, this is what I need on my phone. In addition, I also like to do sales on eBay, make purchases on Amazon, take payments through PayPal, and keep track of my public speaking courses. Basically, what I'm saying is that this phone here should be a money-making machine. Though there's going to be times when I'm not going to be making money with it. So when I am not making money with my phone, what it should be doing is another important function, which is helping me learn something. Or in this case, the third thing that you should do is use your phone to learn. Whenever possible, I try to use my smartphone and tablet to always expand my mind and learn something new. Now granted, I'm a bum sometimes too, and I do like to watch my occasional episode of Death Battle or Dungeon Dudes, which I'm a geek. I like to watch these things in order to relax. So I always tell myself that yes, even though I'm having a lot of fun watching these channels, I always tell myself that I need to subscribe to an equal amount of education and self-improvement channels so I can always be learning something new, because you should never ever stop learning. In addition, I also try to listen to a lot of podcasts and read more ebooks as well as take online courses. And speaking of online courses, let me tell you about Skillshare.com. Skillshare.com is an online learning community where I am both an instructor and a student. Skillshare.com offers over 32,000 courses on a myriad of topics that you can learn at your own pace. Support me while learning something awesome by using my affiliate link below in order to get your free trial. And I like to give full disclosure that I have been a consumer of Skillshare.com for over 2 years, and I use it as an outlet to promote my courses and teach others public speaking. So now that I've ensured that the lights stay on, let me get to my final thoughts on how to make this glorious device work for you. And it's all about your mindset. Now, myself, I have changed my mindset greatly on smartphones, where now I see that this smartphone is the key to making my first million. Now, many people will probably see these devices as nothing more than picture-taking machines that they use to take pictures of their meals and their pet children in order to share with everybody. But you, on the other hand, will not see this as just a simple picture-taking machine. You're going to see this as an opportunity to also be prosperous. I will admit that that sounds kind of lame and cheesy, but think about what I mentioned earlier in terms of how much time we spend on our phones. So we spend 3 hours a day on our phones doing what I call crap. Now imagine that with those 3 hours, that's a whole 1/8 of the 24 hours that you have every day to live. Now granted, you're not really going to use all 24 hours effectively because you got to sleep for a good 8 hours. Or if you're like me, you're going to sleep for a good 5 to 6 hours every single day. So in all actuality, you only have 16 hours in a day to do whatever you need to do, and you're not always going to be all that productive for all 16 hours. So can you imagine how much more you can accomplish if you had an extra 3 hours a day? I would imagine you would say that you can accomplish a lot with an extra 3 hours. Me personally, with the extra 3 hours that I gave myself, I wrote the script to this video on a Wednesday night. Now on Friday night, I wrote revisions to this script, as well as script to a couple of other videos that I'm looking to record eventually, because it takes a while to record these things. Now, in addition, today is Saturday, and it took me about 3.5 hours to get to this very point that I'm recording in the video right now. And tomorrow is Sunday, so what I'm looking to do is look into the course that I just purchased for personal finance that I'm going to use in order to expand my knowledge for the Why We Are Broke series, as well as just, get some more stuff done. And in addition to that, on Monday, what I'm looking to do is, with the extra 3 hours, is catch up on professional wrestling and catch up on my Chinese drama called The Song of Glory, because even I like to watch TV sometimes. So on Monday, my 3 hours are going to be for relaxing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I provided you with some value today. I do look to make a lot more of these videos on discussing why we're broke and what you should be doing about it. Also, if there's a business or self-improvement topic that you'd like to be discussed, make sure that you comment below and I might give you a shout out. Also, if you like what I do around here, make sure to give me a like and a subscribe, and check out the description below on more ways to support me and my crazy dreams. Also, when you start making some extra time for yourself every single day so you can kick more ass and take more names, make sure that you're spending that time doing a little bit of jumping style.